Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine here with Eddie Hearn in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, ahead of the Ring 4 on Saturday night. A stacked card from top to bottom, 4 world title fights. But yeah, we're here. Obviously, you got your man Benn Rodriguez on the card. How's things? How are you? Good.
I mean, obviously, we had a quiet week last week at Tottenham. Yeah. I don't know if you know, Conor Benn won every round, dropped Eubank in the last for a one-sided beatdown. And obviously, just pretty much got on the plane. And we're out here for another amazing card. Got the small matter of the AJ presser tomorrow. And then back to Birmingham next week for Ben Whittaker, for Monaco, for Stockton, for AJ Jake Paul, for Ghana. So yeah, it's been a wild time. Last week was just amazing. I mean, obviously for us, Ishmael Davis, Jack Catterall, 2 big wins over Queensbury, and then Conor Benn, the icing on the cake. And then, of course, this is, for me, how many times have we said one of the best cards we've seen top to bottom? This is it right up there again this Saturday live on DAZN.
Yeah, just reflecting on that Conor Benn win on Saturday. Yeah, just reflect on that win and I guess what it means now, I guess, for the future of Conor Benn.
Yeah, Conor Benn's one of the biggest stars in the sport. I mean, certainly in British boxing, it was a wonderful performance. 2 back-to-back stadium sellouts. And now, obviously, the move to now he's kind of secured his financial legacy to actually try and secure some kind of legacy in the sport of championships. And that is to return to 147 and try and win a world title there. We've got to get back down there. The science says he can do it. And let's do that and make sure that we can perform at the highest level there. And then start targeting the champions. I mean, we wanted Barrios, he's fighting Ryan Garcia in February, so we'd love the winner of that. And there's, Crocker, there's Rody Romero, there's other champions out there, Haney against Norman as well. Love to fight the winner of Barrios against Ryan Garcia in a unification. But yeah, right now he's got so many options and, he's on top of the world.
How do you respond to people saying like Eubank was like a drain punching bag in there?
I think that Conor Benn took a huge amount out of him in that first fight. I felt, don't forget, I was at both weigh-ins. I was at both official weigh-ins and ceremonial weigh-ins. I thought he looked much healthier this time around. Like he was struggling at the weight the first time. This time looked good. But I do think, Conor Benn said in that build-up, I took your soul that night, and I really think there was an element of truth in that. I think Eubank's a very tough man, a very stubborn man, but at 36, that first fight took a huge amount out of him. And Conor was just the younger, fresher. And I always said as well, I think Conor's much better pound for pound. That now he's kind of that second fight at middleweight. He listened to Tony Sims, and it was a real easy night for Conor Benn.
Yeah, just touching on Benn Rodriguez as well there. Had a bit of a feisty face-off.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I see you had a few words.
Yeah, but it's like just trying to get it going because I like to see Bam a little bit like that. I mean, he's still cool as a cucumber, but he. You don't really see him fired up, and he's a little bit fired up. Obviously, he's had to miss the birth of his son, so he's probably over here now thinking you're going to pay. And Martinez is a great fighter. I mean, but he's probably got the style that, in my opinion, will make Bam produce one of the performances of his career. I mean, there's a lot of great fighters on this card. Bam is the best. Bam is top 5 pound for pound, Ring Magazine champ, and everybody now is starting to recognise the quality of Benn Rodriguez.
Yeah, a bit of a distraction, him having a kid when you got to prepare for a fight.
It can't be ideal. I mean, it's a wonderful blessing, but at the same time, I think he had to watch the birth or whatever it was on FaceTime, which is not ideal, but that's a sacrifice of trying to be the best at what you do. So obviously him and his partner have discussed that. They knew what was coming, and he'll be looking forward to defending his titles, winning another title, and getting home to his newborn son.
Is this the last fight on his Matchroom deal?
Yeah, there's like options after this, but we'll be looking to do a new deal with Robert Garcia. We've had him from before he was champion, and we've been faultless in our progression with him, and so is he.
Yeah, Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. I've got to ask you about that fight.
Great fight, yeah. I think when it was made, after the Ramirez fight, I was favouring Brian Norman, and I still give him a shot in the fight. But if you look at the resume of Brian Norman, he's never actually really beaten a true, it's definitely not elite, but real world-class welterweight. I mean, it's a good win in Japan, but who is the world-class victories? Look at Devin Haney's resume. He's been in with some tremendous fighters, and he's beaten some tremendous fighters. So I do favour Devin in that fight, and I think Devin deserves respect because this is to become a 3-division world champion. I think sometimes Devin's achievements get overlooked, but it's a dangerous fight, and if Devin's not still the fighter that he is or was, it could be a tough night at the office, but I do think he'll win.
What's your relationship like with Devin now? Because obviously I know...
Pretty good, yeah. I think, like on the internet and stuff like that, like clickbait, and sometimes he'll say something in an interview or he'll respond to something I've said and vice versa. But every time I see him, even Bill, like, I probably get on with Devin better than I get on with Bill. I still get on all right with Bill, but... Yeah. We had some great times together. We've done a stand-up job for them. I think one of the pleasing things is they could never turn around and say, "Oh yeah, Matchroom let us down," or they didn't do this. We delivered on every promise for Devin Haney, and I like the guy. I think he's a great fighter. Yeah,
because I think it was when you was in Australia, an interview with another boy, you talked about sort of the motivation changing for Devin, almost being about...
Yeah, I wasn't being... he didn't like that. I just feel like after the Ryan Garcia fight, and it wasn't Devin Haney's fault. Devin Haney got a rough end of the stick coming out of that Ryan Garcia fight, because he showed so much heart in that fight, and he fought a guy that came in 3.5 pounds over and failed a drug test on the night. He fought with performance-enhancing drugs in his system, right? Knowingly, not knowingly, whatever it was. And it was like Devin Haney come out the villain. And I just think at that point, Devin Haney turned around and went, "Do you know what? Fuck boxing. Yeah. Like, I've given my life to this sport, and I'm just being treated like I've done something wrong. I was the one that kept getting up off the deck. I was the one who showed so much heart, and now you're having a go at me." Yeah. So, and I think that happens. Like, he's even with AJ. When AJ got beat with Andy Ruiz, it's like, wow, you're this hero now. All of a sudden, oh, you're shit. It's like, so that's why when people say, oh, legacy, Jake Paul, like, once you've been through that, you remember how fickle people are in boxing and how short a career it is. Yeah. And I feel like some of Devin's decisions will be more motivated towards money at this point because of his achievements and because he's probably lost a little bit of emotion for the sport as a whole. But I think maybe he's got that back in camp and he's thinking in his head about becoming a 3-division champion, which, as I said, is a fantastic accolade.
How hard is it to get over those nightmares of the Garcia fight? Like, what happened?
Very hard. It takes time, and clearly he hadn't got over those in the Ramirez fight. Yeah. Right. So has he got over them now, having done 12 rounds against Ramirez? Maybe, maybe not. Like, that's the same with Eubank. Yeah. Eubank wasn't the same fighter after the Conor Benn 1 fight. Maybe Haney's not the same fighter after the Ryan Garcia fight. Saturday will show us. Yeah. If Benavidez looks impressive this weekend, would you look to pursue a Dimitri Bivol fight for him? Yeah, I think it's a great fight. I mean, I really rate Benavidez. I love Anthony Yarde. I like Anthony Yarde. Yeah. I just think it's a really tough fight for him. Yeah. Like being inactive, and I rate Benavidez very highly. I mean, Yarde now's 34. Yeah. A lot of these guys, Benavidez is 28, Bam's 25, Boots is 28, like
Norman Haney.
Yeah, Conor. So it's a young man's sport, and I mean, Bivol will be ready early next year. Whether it's Beterbiev, whether it's Benavidez, he wants the big fights. Got to ask about Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, press conference tomorrow. I guess the fight getting made and whatever, just I guess talk to me about the craziness of it. Just exactly that. As AJ put, he's local, man. And he is. We can't quite believe that it's happening. Like, even when we got approached about it, when I was talking to AJ, we were like, surely not. Yeah. And how can we turn it down? We received an offer. It was a huge amount of money, and it's an easy night's work. So why not? For yourself, Eddie, when you talk about AJ wanting to be 3-time world champion, and he says that himself, is it right to question that when he takes fights against Jake Paul? No, because we know what the plan is for next year, and we've already committed to that. If it was if we didn't have a conversation or an agreement with Turki Al-Sheikh to fight in February and then fight Tyson Fury, then yeah, maybe. And if it was I don't know what's next after Jake Paul, this is just literally run us out in December, right? Make a pile load of money. Also, don't underestimate what this will do for our profile, particularly in the US as well, and then back to it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And by the way, if there wasn't anything next year, I'd still get him to take it. Yeah. But AJ's very motivated for the big fights. He's very motivated to try and become a world champion. But this is just an opportunity you just can't turn down. Yeah, and before I do let you go as well, I put a tweet yesterday about Lewis Crocker and Jack Catterall. Yeah. Would that be a fight that you'd like to pursue, would you say? So, yeah, I think it's a great fight. I mean, look, the reality is, and I always try and keep it as real as possible, if you're Lewis Crocker, you either want a kind of hometown defence, like homecoming defence, or you want to make a load of money to fight a tough fight, right? Jack Catterall's a very tough fight. Does it generate a load of money? Like, if it did, Lewis Crocker would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But if you're Lewis Crocker, he's probably going, well, I'd rather fight, you know, Conor Benn for a fortune, or I'd rather fight Rolly Romero in a unification, or get paid up in Riyadh season to defend my title, than fight a really tough fight against Jack Catterall. And that's why with Jack, that's why we're positioning him with a WBO. He'll be number one now after that great win against Echo Esserman, and hopefully he can get himself into a mandatory position to fight the winner of Haney and Norman, because Jack's a tough night to work for anybody. And we appreciate he's not Ryan Garcia, so you're not going to get millions and millions to fight him, but you may get beat. And that's why a lot of people have avoided him for his whole career.
Brilliant. Eddie, appreciate the time as always.
Cheers, mate.
And all the best.
Thank you.